Everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to charge criminal clients. I'm going to share this based on my own experience. When I started out by handling criminal matters. So I'm going to share those tips based on my own experience. One, get all the facts of the case first. That is very important. Listen to your client. When you approach this client, now the one you're going to represent who has been arrested, listen to them first. And in most instances, you'll find most of these clients, their biggest fear is normally being taken to prison. So that's why I normally tell my clients to begin from there. That is their biggest fear. And don't start now. Mistakes most advocates will make is now they start comforting them, telling them, like, for instance, especially if someone maybe has been charged with a misdemeanor. So you'll be like, hii kesi hata si ngumu na hata tutaenda tu na utapewa cash bail. Hii hata uwezi nyimwa cash bail, na cash bail hata utapewa more than 50,000. So usishtuke, don't be scared, you won't go to prison. This is a misdemeanor, ni kesi ndogo sana. Now you see there, those are the mistakes by there I used to make initially. And I think there's some young advocates who will naturally, that's the first instinct, that's how you represent that client, because you feel you're giving. But no, remember, after you've informed that client that this case is easy, you're not going to, you get this X amount of cash bail, which is a little amount, and there's no way you're going to prison. Why are they going to take up why should they hire you now? So that's why I normally tell people, make sure just tell their client, I'm going to do mitigation for you to ensure that first you're not denied cash bail and bond, because as much as it's a right, sometimes it's normally denied on certain circumstances. And then you also tell this client that I'll ensure, and again, I'll ensure that you're given a reasonable amount that you can afford. Then maybe you can even go further and tell them, if in case you're given an amount you can't afford, I'll do a review for you to get a less amount. Now you see, if you present it this way, trust me, this person now will see the need, why they need you, and they'll pay your fees. Then following that, so always get all the second thing now, get your fees up front. This is another mistake you should never make, especially when it comes to criminal clients. As I've already stated, their fear is normally going to. Remember, before now they go to court, especially now before they go and do the plea taking, they don't, at that time they're in a gray area, they don't know what's going to happen. So if you don't charge your fees at that point, then you wait, you go to court, you represent them, they get a cash. And sometimes if a magistrate is in a good mood, they give cash bail of like even 10,000, 20,000. Then now that's the point you're charging your fees. Trust me, this person is there are even some who will like expressly tell you, wacha kwanza tutafute cash bail. Now you're no longer they've already gotten what they wanted. But then there's some who will tell you, first let us look for, we'll pay your fees later. So at that point is where you get your fees. Get your fees from the beginning. Especially and again, be careful. I've had that. Remember, there's even an OCS was telling me when you're dealing with those criminal matters, he was just giving me as an advice, like, just remember this person is here, not because just a person just randomly went and picked them from their house and brought them here. So be careful. They can even obtain from you as an advocate. So that's very important. Get your money from the beginning, and after you've been paid, most of them will pay via M-Pesa, and then they will reverse when you're in court. Remember, when you're in court now, you'll be focused on doing the mitigation for the plea taking. So most of the time you'll not be even maybe focused on your phone. So ensure, be careful. This is just a tip, like, ensure if they have paid via M-Pesa, maybe you transfer it somewhere else, or just be on alert. Some people, they're just so be careful. Ensure you get your fees up front, and also make sure you take care, or you'll find yourself. There's been an advocate, I think, who shared a story of how he had been paid. Then after he focused, he went and did the pre-taking and everything. And then when he came, he found the money had already been reversed. So be careful. Clients also ensure you are informing them they are only paying for pre-taking. There are clients, by the way, who will assume that since they have paid for the pre-taking, they are paying for the entire case and for you to handle the entire case. So you'll find someone, if you didn't explain to them, they'll call you during the mention, and then the moment maybe you inform them that you charge for attendance, or they'll start saying, but nilikulipa ile siku, unataka kukula pesa yangu. So make sure you explain to them this is just for pre-taking. Then tell them, the best way, what me I normally do when it comes to criminal clients, you tell them this is for plea taking, and then I tell them now after, because now the focus is for you to get plea and get out on a cash bill. Then when you're out, you come to the office, we sit down, then now that's when now you give them a breakdown of now how much you're going to charge for the entire. So this is very important. It may look very minimal, but make sure they are aware. Because of course, especially for an advocate who's starting out, because of me, I started there like just after admission. Those are the clients I started with. You'd want them to be prospective clients, because you don't. It's not like you have a lot of clients. You just want to do the plea taking. So just make sure you inform them that from the beginning, so that if they are coming back to be your clients, they are aware, to avoid any confusion or someone starts saying that you're eating clients' money. And then another thing, when it comes to criminal matters, for civil matters, as I've stated in the previous video, you tell your client the entire amount they'll pay for the entire process, and then now maybe you agree on how they're going to pay in installments. But when it comes to criminal, I think it's very important. Remember, criminal matters, I feel for criminal matters, it's different from civil. You'll find criminal matters before the case kicks off, you'll attend 50 mentions in most instances. So when charging, I think make sure you are charging. Me, I normally prefer give them a fees for the entire suit, for just a normal timeline of a suit ending, just like civil. Just give them a total, but make sure you charge attendance separately. Charge mentions, maybe tell them attending every mention will be 5,000. That's separate from the legal fees you've charged. So ensure, just say any attendance you charge maybe 5,000 or less, depending on more or less. Charge an amount for every attendance, because another thing with criminal matters, like you're spending your time right now. Civil, you can still be in your office doing your work because it's virtual. Most of them are virtual, so you don't have to go. But remember, criminal matters are physical. You need to go to you're spending your time. So I would advise, because sometimes you may find yourself you've charged for the entire suit. Then you find now, as I've told you, mentions are normally like 100. So you find yourself you already paid, so you're attending, you attend a matter like half your day, and most of the time you find maybe court starts at 10, so you find your half day is already done. So make sure at least you're compensated for that time. So me, I would advise the best way is charge for the entire suit, then charge attendance separately. That's what I would advise. Charge for the entire suit, then charge attendance separately. And then the other advice when it comes to criminal clients is, what I would also advise is, ensure that you have built networks in court. Be friend like be friends with the prosecutors, the clerks. Just ensure that you have built your networks, because it comes a long way when it comes to handling criminal matters. Trust me, it comes a long way. So like for instance, even paying for cash bail. Because me, I remember initially while starting out, you would find, because you have not been, you're still new, you'll find when now you've gotten a client. And remember, because you want this client to be a prospective client, you just don't do plea taking and leave them. You want to help them until they're done. Like after plea taking, they're given cash bail. When paying cash bail, you ensure they have paid the cash bail and they are out. That's, you go an extra mile. You want this person to be your client. So it's important, because also you don't want to spend the entire day in court. Those processes can take long, because even though you're paying for cash bail, sometimes they have to wait for the file to come to the registry. So for build networks, get a clerk, maybe a clerk who can be helping you. Because for me to reach a point, like I'd already built networks. First, let's start with the prosecutor. Prosecutor will come in handy in instances where, before you charge your fees, talk to the prosecutor to find out, because you'll have to charge differently. Because there's some clients, the IO, the investigating officers, come with an affidavit who wanting them to still continue being held until the investigation is done for maybe an extra 10 days. You can't charge the same fees for a client who's just doing the normal plea taking, how much you're charging, because this means you're not going to do plea taking, you're going to argue that application, and court even put a ruling. You'll argue, because now they'll serve with the affidavit. You have sometimes you even have to respond to it, though most of them you do it orally. So that you need to charge extra. That's why now the point of making sure you build networks. The second thing, clerk, so that at least you get to a point where you don't have to, after you've done your plea taking, you have someone in place who you trust, who can ensure this person's cash bill is processed fast and they actually live under your instruction. So that's basically what you need to do. That's why you need to build networks there. So informative. I hope this video has been informative. Don't forget to follow us on Lawyers Helping Each Other on Instagram. that's where I normally share job opportunities, or sometimes we just have conversation involving lawyers. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. Don't forget to also subscribe and also like this video.